The New England Patriots took a chance on Tom Brady with pick number 199 in the 2000 NFL Draft. And since then, the future Hall of Famer has won 7 Super Bowls. Now, since Bill Belichick arrived in 2000, all 11 quarterback selections by New England spent 4 seasons in college, and all of them were multi-year starters for mainly Power 5 schools. That all could change this year with Brady out of the picture and questions surrounding Cam Newton. Our draft expert, Ryan Wilson, has New England taking North Dakota State's Trey Lance in the first round. Let's welcome in our Ryan Wilson to ask him just about that. Now, Trey Lance holding his second pro day today. He shined in his first go. He'll perform in front of multiple teams once again. Coming from that FCS school at North Dakota State, is there enough of a sample size for him, and what does he need to show today?
Well, first things first, Jenny, you mentioned Tom Brady and Bill Belichick there. That was back in 2001. Here's how old I am. Bill Belichick was only a few months older than me when he drafted Tom Brady. That's where I'm at in my life. Bill Belichick and Tom Brady want to do some things a little better than what I've done, but whatever. I won't dwell on that right now. So what's going on with North Dakota State and Trey Lance? Having his pro day, his second pro day, just a week and a half and change before the draft, which is interesting. You just don't see the pro days this late. There are going to be 30 teams there in attendance. Just saw a report that the Washington football team will not be there. They're also in the quarterback market, but they feel like they're too far down at 20 to be able to move up and get them. So you mentioned the Patriots. They're at 15. My latest mock draft, I had them targeting Trey Lance. I don't know if there's going to be there at 15, Trey Lance. A team will have to probably trade up and get him. And there's even some conversation, Jenny, that he could be in the mix at 3 with the 49ers, who traded up from 12 to 3 a few weeks ago. So it gets more and more interesting. To answer your question, I think teams know what they like in Trey Lance. Yes, there's only the small sample size and playing against FCS competitions, but the potential, the athleticism, the arm strength, the smarts is all through the roof. And the quarterback position is all about projecting anyway. The issue is for Trey Lance, as you noted, this isn't a Trevor Lawrence or Mac Jones or Justin Fields situation. This is Trey Lance playing only 17 games in an FCS career and only having 1 start in the last 400 and something days. So that's a concern, but there will be no shortage of NFL teams there to watch him today, Jenny.
So say he does blow away the coaches and he gets rave reviews. Which other draft quarterbacks does this impact the most?
Well, if he goes 3, that's an issue for Justin Fields and Mac Jones with the San Francisco 49ers. And I've been trying to figure out, calling around, asking people who know Kyle Shanahan well in the league, what Shanahan's thinking, and no one seems to have any idea outside of Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. So if he goes at 3, Trey Lance, that affects Justin Fields and Mac Jones, pushes them down. What does that mean for teams at 7, like the Detroit Lions, or at 9, like the Denver Broncos, who could also be in the quarterback conversation? And again, the teams we talked about that could potentially trade up, whether it's the Washington football team, the Chicago Bears, even the Steelers down at 24. Those teams will have to consider what it's worth for them to move up. Should these other quarterbacks that many of us thought would be gone in the top 7 or 8 still be on the board around 9, 10, or 11? That'll be the fun part of the draft. We say the draft starts at 4. But I think it starts at 3 because we still don't know what Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, and the 49ers are going to do with that draft pick there.
This year's going to be a fun one, that's for sure. Okay, Ryan, we're going to do a little mock draft time. We've seen superstars come out of the draft late, obviously Tom Brady being one of them. We're going to start in round 7, though, and then work our way back. So looking at that final round, give me some interesting names to keep an eye on. Sam Ehlinger is one of those names that immediately pops out to me.
Yeah, he had a really good career at Texas, Jenny, and had a really good Senior Bowl, followed it up. He does a lot of things well. So my 7-round mock draft came out Monday, today, so you can check that out. So Sam Ehlinger at 234, there, going to the Cardinals. And the thinking there is, let's find a quarterback who is similar in athleticism and what he does as Kyler Murray, because we've seen teams like the Ravens try to fit those type of quarterbacks into the Lamar Jackson system with RG3 and Trace McSorley. And I think Sam Ehlinger, who's incredibly smart, makes a lot of good decisions with the ball, doesn't make mistakes, doesn't turn the ball over, and loves to run the football, could be a good fit, a good backup behind Kyler Murray there in Arizona. Some other names that I like in round 7, Dax Milne out of BYU, who played with Zach Wilson, the quarterback there. He makes a lot of sense. I had him going to a team like the Colts, so Carson Wentz gets a new weapon there. And you mentioned it, that sometimes in the 7th round you find these diamonds in the rough, and I think this is the fun round where you don't have to go according to your board. If you're if you're team drafting, you go and get the best player there who has a chance to contribute either on special teams or has a chance to be a backup, and that evolves eventually into the starting role.
We're going to work our way down to the 6th round now. Much like the 7th, a lot of these picks coming from deals and trades. Let's actually look at number 199 you have here. So we should, I think, just change that pick number to pick number Tom Brady. You look at number 199, and you actually have a quarterback going at that special number.
Yeah, Ian Book out of Notre Dame. The funny thing is, our producer, Tully, pointed that out to me. I had no idea that 199 and Ian Book were there together. So thanks for Tully for noting that to me. So where do I have Ian Book going? I have him going to the Vikings. So the Vikings have been sort of in the conversation for a quarterback, but rarely in the first round. Kirk Cousins is their guy, clearly, but you should get a backup for him. And a solid starter like Ian Book, having a really good career at Notre Dame. He's only 6 feet tall. He moves well, but the athleticism isn't plus athleticism. So he does a lot of things well, incredibly smart. He can be a good backup, learn the system, and you can use him in spot duty if you need to. So I like the idea of Ian Book at 199. That has a Tom Brady feel to it for sure. Some other names that I like, Trevon Grimes out of Florida, who had a really good career at Florida, playing alongside, I should say, guys like Kadarius Toney, and of course Kyle Pitts, who's probably going to be a top 5 pick. Catching passes from Kyle Pitts, really good season this year. Another name that I'll mention is Stanford wide receiver Simi Fehoko, who can run for days. He's a big wide receiver, struggles with consistency in catching the football. So if he can learn to be a better pass receiver, and that's why he's falling to the 6th round here, he has a chance to be a special talent. Had him going to the Giants. They need playmakers down the field, and I think Fehoko can make some sense there as a 6th round flyer.
All right, round 5 also taking place on Saturday, May 1st. The Falcons and the Niners both with 3 selections. Give me some players to watch out for in the 5th round.
Well, let's start with Chuba Hubbard, the running back out of Oklahoma State. Sprinter speed, does a lot of really good things with the ball in his hands. He can break long runs for days. The issue is sometimes he's not great at breaking tackles, and that's sort of a concern if you're a running back, and he does have fumbling issues. But when he's in the open field, look, no one's catching him, and we saw that time and time again at Oklahoma State. So he's a really fun player. I had him going to the 49ers. I could imagine that Kyle Shanahan could get the most out of his abilities. That seems like a fun match there. Some other names I had, the Jaguars taking Marvin Wilson at the top of the 5th round. And this is, look, a year ago we were talking about Marvin Wilson as a potential top 20 pick. Didn't have a great season at Florida State. Part of that was injury related. Part of that's just the coaching changes. I get that. But now he falls to round 5, going to the Jags there. They have needs along the defensive line. Jamie Newman to the Eagles feels like the type of fit that should happen and that people will be reacting to crazily because it means, oh my gosh, they brought in a quarterback. But he does a lot of the same things that Jalen Hurts does. You could even say he's a better passer than Jalen Hurts was coming out of college. That type of athleticism, ran the ball a lot at Wake Forest, never had a chance to play at Georgia. Again, he feels like a bargain in the 5th round. And finally, I'll mention Shaun Wade, the cornerback slash safety out of Ohio State. I say slash safety because he played cornerback during his career. Struggled last season, unfortunately, when he was moved to the outside. His future may be at safety, but he's a big, long defensive back who can do a lot of things well. Is probably at his best when he's playing deep center field and not playing man-to-man coverage.
Ryan, thank you so much. With their latest mock draft, obviously the NFL draft will be held April 29th through May 1st. It's coming up. So for all the latest in the NFL in preparation for that draft, tune into the Pick 6 podcast. The CBS crew will get you up to speed each day in about 30 minutes. And what's trending in the NFL so that you're always in the know. So tune in and follow along today.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.